Hi, this is Eugene from Economics Execution Genius. This is the third episode of Circuit Breaker Economics, and today we're going to investigate why oil prices have become negative and what are the implications of that. Because a lot of people have this mindset that if oil prices are negative, why aren't we getting free petrol? Okay, so let's first start off with what the heck is going on and why are oil prices negative. Okay, first of all, when people buy oil, they or trade in oil, they trade in tons and tons of oil, and usually they trade in contracts. Let's say I trade in the contract for delivery of oil in May. I may trade for this delivery of oil in May, in March, in April, or months way before. So what's currently happening right now is that demand for oil has actually fallen drastically, with quite a substantial amount of countries are currently on lockdown. So demand for oil have fallen actually quite significantly. Right, at this juncture yet, the supply of oil, although it has fallen, OPEC and various oil producers have cut their output to some extent. They haven't quite nearly cut their output by the same extent as the fall in demand. This is understandably so because they want to maintain their market share. Okay, so they haven't quite cut supply to the same extent. Okay, which means to say that demand is falling way more than supply. And you have to remember that airlines are cutting back on buying of oil because obviously they are not flying. A lot of these traditional oil buyers, they are not buying, and a lot of countries have also cut back on these purchases because at this juncture there is not so much need for oil. So demand has fallen drastically. But still, why are oil prices negative? Right now, the oil prices that are specifically negative are in America, specifically West Texas. In West Texas, oil is currently trading at negative US $37 because basically what happens here is that these traders that have traded in the oil contracts for May delivery, they do not want to take delivery of this oil. So let's say I'm holding on to the contract, okay, for oil. I have to actually take delivery of oil if my contract is for May. So when the time comes, I need to actually take stock of this physical oil. Right, but there is actually a cost to taking delivery of this oil. Number one, I need to have space to store it. Number two, I need to pay for transport costs. If I don't have this need for this oil and I don't have anyone to sell to or anyone who wants to buy it off my hands and I don't want to take delivery of this oil, so those that are holding on to these May contracts for oil, what they're doing is that they are actually paying people to take these oil contracts off their hands, and that's why the oil price is actually negative USD $37. So you have to understand that the specific oil that is negative, it happens in West Texas, where oil is difficult to transport because it's landlocked. Okay, there are other reasons why your petrol prices are not going super duper cheap. Now bear in mind that for this oil price that has gone negative, it is the oil price for crude oil. It's not your refined oil, it's not your petroleum. Okay, so the petrol that you buy from petrol stations, right? Crude oil is just simply one of the many factor inputs. Like for example, you need labor, machinery and equipment. You need to actually refine the oil into petroleum. But besides that, will petrol price come down? It should come down quite soon. There's usually a lag time. Your petrol prices should come down soon. It will not come down by the same extent that your crude oil prices have come down, and certainly don't expect your petrol prices to be negative or given away for free, because there are many factor inputs in it. Rent, labor, and then you have people who need to work to actually convert this crude oil into petroleum. You have machinery equipment you need to pay for. So crude oil is just one of the factor inputs in the production of things like petroleum. Of course, with crude oil being negative, it definitely tells us that prices of certain goods that are dependent on oil as a factor input, they're going to come down pretty soon, but they're not going to come down entirely to zero and then go negative. Right, so I hope this was informative for you. Right, this is Eugene from Economics Execution Genius. I'm signing off. I'll see you again.